Hello and welcome to the Libri Labra Book Club. I am joined today by my husband John, aka BookTube Hubby, and also by Book Club VIP member Tom. And actually, before even jumping into this, just as a reminder, if you ever want to join us during the live discussion on camera, you can do that by becoming a patron at patreon.com/LibriLabra. And there's a few other perks for joining. You get to be in a rotation where you help us pick what books we're reading for the book club. And there is an exclusive Facebook chat where we talk about the media we're consuming, and priority responses in YouTube comments, and a custom bookmark, and a few other things. So, go ahead and check out the Patreon. If you want to just follow, you can follow and still interact without having to necessarily become a patron. But today we're going to be talking about the Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. And we're going to go over initial thoughts first, and then we're going to be jumping into spoiler territory. So if you haven't read it and you do intend to read it, then just go and come back later so that you can listen to our discussion. This was selected by you, and you don't like to read synopsis. So were you like cats?
Yeah, I like cats. That's basically what helps choose this one.
Okay.
And Travelling Cat Chronicles, just the title itself is kind of a good idea. I like the premise, the idea of seeing things through the eyes of the cat.
So what are your just basic initial thoughts on the story?
I liked it.
Me or okay.
Nice little story. It was good.
Okay, John said it was cute. It was a nice little story. All right, how about you, Tom?
Okay. This seems to be part of a particularly Japanese type of novel, where they write about cats. I read, the one other one I read was it The Guest Cat by Takashi Hiraide, and and then we have this one, and there's also a manga called A Man and His Cat. So it seems to be a subject in that. So I was, and a lot of times the book is not necessarily about the cat, but the way the cat shows the humans that interact with the cat, which is, I think, the case here. So yeah, that was my intro.
I mean, I would say that we're just animal lovers in general, but definitely we have 4 cats. Mm-hmm. So, and I have grown up with a cat my whole entire life, and I've also had dogs, but the relationship between me and my cats is so different than with the dogs. And not that I love either, more or less than the other, but for some reason the connection with my cat has always just felt so much more intimate, I guess. So I love reading stories like this, and then this one in particular, was told from the cat's perspective, so it's always funny to see cats' interpretations of what we're doing compared to cat mentality and stuff like that. So I thought it was also cute, but definitely emotional. All right, so we will go ahead and jump into spoiler territory. Where would you like to begin?
I don't know, because my brain fog is thick at the moment.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm always going to be guided through the book by a narration. So the experience is always going to be, I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed the book a lot just because of the narrator.
So you liked the narrator? Because in reading reviews, I saw a lot of people complain about it.
Why?
I don't know what their reasoning was, but
the audiobook narrator, right?
Yeah, the audiobook narrator. Okay. I don't remember what they were saying was that they didn't like about it, but I just saw a lot of people say, "Oh, I tried to read this on audio, but I think I'm going to just read it, with my eyes," because
interesting,
they weren't vibing with the audiobook narrator. There were also some differences in what the narrator was saying versus, well, I have an arc, but so I don't know if it was like a translation difference or something like that, but some words were very different. But
Right.
I don't know what I was expecting going into this book. It was definitely different than what I was expecting. I think really early on, you get this sense of something's not right, because
I guess that was going to be my first question. So,
I mean, I don't want to jump all the way to the end, obviously, but like, you have, there's just this looming sense of not understanding of like, this person took in this cat, cared for it, was so loving to it, and is now trying to find someone else to take care of it. And you're like, what is going on here?
Well, when did you realize what the problem was? Did they have to lay it out for you, or did you think about it ahead
I think
of time?
I was assuming from the very beginning, because all the interactions with the cat were always so sweet. And like, being, again, a cat owner, like, I can't imagine ever having to give up my cat. So the situation would have to be pretty serious for that to even be a consideration. But I guess it was interesting how with each group of people he met, they kind of had their own thing going on. And he was, even though at first he was trying to get them to take the cat, it seems like he was then like helping them through their situations. I think that was my impression of it.
Well, that's especially true of his aunt, I think.
Right.
Because that was the point of her chapter, really. But, one of the things I liked about the first part was, it showed, well, you can take the cat, but you're taking him for the wrong reasons. Yeah, so that's not good. So.
I guess I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, right. Yeah. I did notice that, like, eventually he was like, maybe you guys should get your own cat. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like,
that's that one. Okay, I know.
It's like when couples say, "Oh, I know, we'll stay together. Let's have kids." It's like, no. That's not how that works. Or how that should work, anyway. So yeah.
But I feel like that story was like twofold, because he said that his wife liked cats, but then he also had the trauma of like his dad not letting him keep the cat when he was younger. And so it was like kind of about standing up to his dad in addition to hopefully getting his spouse back, because
right.
So I thought the idea of having this like pet Airbnb thing was like super cool. Is that also like common? Because I know like cat cafes and things, like, because it's hard to travel when you have pets.
I don't know. In Japan, it wouldn't surprise me. If
That's what Sherry did recently.
No, I'm serious. It's like, yeah.
She actually had somebody stay at her house for 5 days to take care of her animals.
I mean, but that's not the same as traveling with your.
No, not traveling. Oh, having an Airbnb that's pet friendly. That type of deal.
Yeah. Do you not remember that?
Yeah,
they basically said that there was
like
a whole floor. Yeah, there was a whole floor for dogs and a whole floor for cats.
Wow, I missed it.
How did you miss it?
I don't know.
That was like part of the whole chapter, was that the two people that were together had a pet Airbnb.
I'm gonna have to.
And then at the end, they brought it up again because everybody was like exchanging pet pics as they were talking about Satoru.
No, I do like how they wrapped up the end and talking about him and how, like, everybody getting together and sharing their pet stories as well. That was cute.
I feel like the one section that I kind of didn't fully process, it might have been that one, because there was one where Satoru had a crush in school with one of the people.
Yeah, Chikako, yeah.
Yeah. Were they also the owners of the pet Airbnb? I think so, right?
Well,
Yeah.
excuse me. I think it was Satoru that gave them the idea to do the pet baby because people, travel with their animals, and if you can find some place that's really animal friendly, then that's a plus.
Right.
So I tend to say the answer is yes. So,
But I know there was some.
but in that one,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm a little delayed, so but go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
I think there's some. I think we have some lag here, so I apologize. In that chapter, I think it was the most interesting part was the way Torimaru's actions were interpreted by the humans. In the sense that they think he hates Nana, but it's the reason why he hates Nana because he knows that his master is uneasy with Satoru being there. So yeah, he's going to stand up for his master. And that gets misinterpreted. So
It's funny because animals have such.
And as the situation plays out, he sees that Satoru's okay with it. Oh, okay, I'm okay with it now too. But that doesn't the humans don't really understand that, or it's not really explained for them that way. So, but it makes perfect sense, because we the reader are told that. It's like, well, of course that's what's happening. So how could it be otherwise? Right. So I thought that was good.
It's funny how different animal personalities are. Like we have two dogs. One is a husky, which like super friendly, but she looks kind of scary because she looks like a wolf. And then we have a dopey mixed dog, but as cute as he looks, sometimes we're walking him at night, and if somebody comes too close to us, he like he barks at them. He'll try to protect us.
Yeah.
And I'm just so not used to that. That's a new thing for us because I've had huskies the majority of the time, which they don't do that. So it's just funny which animals decide they want to be that protective.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then in between, what is it? Kasuke's and for Chicago, I can't remember her husband's name. In between that, we have Yoshimine, who's like the farmer. And it's a different take on animals altogether, and it's not the, they're not pets; they are working animals.
Wants to make sure it's a real cat
too. So I think it was interesting the way Satoru was shown. Yeah, it's a real cat. Yeah, because he expected to do work, like catch mice and not watch them walk across the floor. That's
right.
But no, in the first chapter, it was interesting that Satoru was the primary actor. Like he was like, I'm going to save I'm going to get this cat. He's going to do all these things. And then Yoshimine was the primary actor in the second one. So, and then in the third one, it was kind of like he would have been an actor, but he just never told Chikako that he liked her. Chikako or whatever for her. I don't know how to forget her name.
I guess that could have been one of the complaints I had about the narrator.
How Satoru acted with each set of friends and how they met and how they,
Sorry, that lag is pretty bad.
What were you saying?
How he had said her name. The narrator, every time I heard it, I heard he was saying Chicago.
Chicago, that's what I was hearing too.
I'm like, this is not okay. That's not her name.
No, Chicago. Chicago or something like that. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it in Japanese, so don't go by me.
What did you think of the cat's personality? I'm asking you first because you are familiar with different cat personalities. Like, do you think that's like a standard cat personality or like?
I mean, yeah, I don't know about the cat, don't you want to please your master? He said that to one of the kittens at some point, right? And I was like, that doesn't sound like a cat thing. But it kind of is. They do like to bring you things. They want to, they give you gifts sometimes, even though you don't like those gifts.
I know that like cats tend to be more aloof than like a dog and a little bit more distant. And like they really have to trust you, and that trust is like hard to build.
I guess in the story it's given.
But I feel like there was still quite a bit of sense of detachment between Nana and Satoru from the cat's end. Like, not that the cat didn't care about him, because obviously it did.
Well, right. I mean, he saved his life, and then he was like, he took care of him for a little
Maybe
bit.
I'm just imagining that cats are more emotional than they are, but like, I was surprised there wasn't more like emotion behind the way the cat talked, the way the cat, the things the cat says, or the observations the cat made.
Well, that could have been the narrator's fault too.
Yeah, I guess.
Because how he
apart from that. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry. There's a lag.
I was
apologize.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just how the narrator portrayed the cat's personality could have been different and said the exact same things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may actually want to. Is there another narrator?
What do you mean?
But if it's read by multiple people, so if it's there's another version of it somewhere else, or if I don't know. I'm curious to see if there's another medium. But go ahead, Tom.
What was I going to say? Oh, Donna may not have been outwardly expressive towards Satoru, but he was there when it counted. Like when Satoru went to the hospital, he got away from the aunt and said, "I'm going to be around the hospital and I'll visit my owner or my master when I want to," and he comes out. So yeah, he may not have said "I love you," but his actions certainly did. So,
right.
I guess maybe that's it. That like, because we're in the cat's head, I expected the internal dialogue to just be a little bit more emotional, but
no.
On the outside, it was still like if you were on the outside watching a cat escape to make sure it was by the hospital, obviously you know that it cares.
I think this would be a cute movie.
Cute movie?
Well, sad. But I'm saying like it would be a good for it to be a medium to be something you can watch on TV.
You don't see a ton of cat movies. I feel like you see more dog movies probably because they're more easily trainable.
Probably.
Like, I can't even imagine a cat movie. But that would be interesting.
Guess it'd have to be animated, huh?
It might have to be animated, yeah.
Well, it's also the kind of thing where
go ahead.
Again, this is a lag. I apologize.
Yeah, I know.
The big question I had is like, why, if he loves this cat so much, why is he giving it away? And the list of answers is very, very short. It's like, it's like, but I loved how the fact that the author chose to animals to tell the reader that this is what's going on. He doesn't smell right. He does not want this world. And so, now we have reason.
That actually scared me about how animals love me so much.
What do you mean?
They're not being nice to me because they smell something weird with me, do they? Yeah, that's a weird shrug too. Wow.
Don't want to say anything, but
oh Jesus.
So anyway, just wanted to get that up there. Go ahead.
No, I appreciated that too. This is the fact that how they told us what was happening. Are you crying already?
No, yeah. I feel like there's something in my eye and it's bothering me. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
No, seriously, it's probably like a cat hair or something.
Yeah.
But
yet another hazard of.
Not that I didn't cry reading this, because I did, but twice even. But which is always awesome too.
This was definitely an ode to cat lovers, because I mean, with the guy's last breath, he said thank you just because she brought the cat in to say hi.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like, come on.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I wonder what would even like happen in a real case scenario. Like, I would imagine the hospital would not allow that. And I know they kind of
Right.
like went against what the hospital was saying anyway, but
Well, that was part of them. I mean, don't ask because I have to tell you no.
yeah. Let's see. There you go.
My
Hello?
internet's not happy with me today.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
My internet's not happy with me today, so I apologize. So
I think what I said while you were gone was just that I wonder. I would imagine that no hospital would allow pets in. So,
but again,
I mean, not
love
that
how,
they allowed
like,
it either.
the workers
but-
are like, "Oh, there's a cat out there. I'm going to leave a little treat for him." And like, this whole thing was filled with treats. That the so. Again, it shows how humans react to an animal, which I think is part of the important part of the story, because we see how like Kasuke really reacts to Nana, and then Yoshimine, and then Chikako and Torimaru, and I can't remember the husband's name, but Sugi, I think it was. Yeah. So how they react to Nana, and how it was, these placements are not good. And with his aunt, the thing that I had a question about is, she was a lawyer and now she's a judge, but she says these things which come out so wrong. It's like I'm not sure. Like, does she know how to read a room, which you would think would be important
right?
to be a lawyer, but but it's like but and she totally means well, but it just never comes out. Like when she says stuff, it just never comes out right.
But I also
At
feel like
least in terms of personal things.
sometimes that feels so cultural to me, though. Like across lots of cultures, I feel like there are just cultures where the elders just say things like they just they just don't have any filter,
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of times that I remember growing up and walking to a room and seeing my grandmother for like the first time in a while, like the first thing I'd get right after the hello is either you've gained weight or you've lost weight. Like those are the two things that would be said immediately after. And so
well,
maybe
and I understand women have an additional, like, if you're not married, when are you going to be married? And if they are married, well, when are you going to have kids?
Right.
So there's
Exactly.
a list.
So, but I don't know if I like missed it, but I didn't really get.
It was just interesting to see with his aunt how she.
I was just gonna say that I didn't get why she had to tell him about his parents, because that seemed fairly unnecessary.
Acting up again, I fear.
I'll try to give it a second to recalibrate.
Yeah, but you can kind of see, like, well, you should tell him the truth. He should know the truth, regardless of what it is. It may not mean anything now, but you know what I mean? Like, he should know. Like, wouldn't you want to know if it was you?
Would I? I don't know. At that point, like, probably.
Yeah. At least on an intellectual plane, I would say the answer is yes. Like, you may not do anything about it. It's like, oh, that's interesting, and then just go about your day. Or you could say, I want to meet these people, and see where you came from. So it depends. But I agree with her. It was a tough call, but in the end, I think she made the right one in telling you. Now, the way she did it was questionable, but and when, but
she meant well, right?
Yeah, like just that. Yes, and that's the thing. She always means well. It just doesn't come out right, or it's not, like, again, not reading the room. It's
not
like
perceived as well.
Yeah, I felt bad for her. Yeah, so.
But she was very loving and helpful at the end there.
Oh yeah, but it was obvious that she felt that she had done like so little for him. But he's like, no, you did everything for me. Like she was the parent that he needed. And he had nowhere else to go. So it's just the difference between what she thinks of the situation and what he thinks of the situation. And then when they get together and finally discuss it, oh, it's you thought this, and oh, you thought that, and
Right.
and people just don't talk about these things. So, and again, it's all because of the cat, because they would not have gotten together like that if he didn't have to give the cat over to his aunt. So
That's true.
I think it's I don't know, it's cool because there are cats that are like born outside and sometimes they're hard to connect with. And but definitely not impossible. But I think it's funny that the cat wasn't wounded, but we had a situation a few years ago where a cat just appeared on our porch. It was like a cat we had never seen before ever. So it wasn't like it was a neighborhood cat because we had never seen it. And then it was just sitting on our porch. And for 2 weeks, every day we'd leave the house and it was just there sitting, waiting until, after several days, the cat decided he wanted to start coming into our house.
Right.
And we had to like shoo him away because
you
we'd
have a cat
open the
now.
door.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so
Yep, we do have a
we
cat
did. Eventually, I was like,
Or you're feeding me, yeah. Why can't I come in?
Yeah.
we took him to the vet, and now he's ours. I don't know who he belonged to. He has escaped plenty of times, but he doesn't ever go far. Like so.
Yeah,
he comes
exactly.
right
Once
back.
you start feeding them, yeah.
So I don't know where he hailed from or why he showed up on our doorstep, but he's now ours. But I remember like because he's a very big cat. He's a large cat. He has claws. He was it's kind of like touch and go in the beginning as you're trying to develop trust with the cat.
we didn't know if we could pet him or at the beginning. Or
so in
whatever,
the beginning, I know there was one time where like he just happened to be in the bedroom with me and I was laying down and he got on top of me onto my chest. And I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck here. Because any sudden movements, this cat is going to freak out and like attack
Claw
me.
your
or something.
face, yes.
Yeah. But thankfully, like now that we've had him for a long time, like we know how tolerant he can be. Although he used to swing on us in the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, definitely in the beginning, if we tried to like pet him, he'd be like, "Rah!" He would like swing at us. But now we pick him up and snuggle him, and he's tolerant.
He's a big rag doll.
But I can't imagine a wounded cat.
Oh yeah, no, that's scary because usually they're afraid and most likely, will attack as well.
So, I mean, I appreciate all the people who are willing to take risks necessary to help the animal. I'm terrible at those things. The majority of the time, John has to take the animals to the vet because I cannot stand to see them uncomfortable or in pain. And the fact that I can't communicate to them, hey, we're trying to help you, it just leaves me so flustered. So, I
mean, the cry that Bloopy gives when you put him in there is kind of sad. Like it's
betrayer.
Like I'm like, dude, it's okay. You're not gonna die. You're fine. We're just going to this place real quick.
So even at the beginning of the story where, the cat, he was like, no, cat, I want you to stay here. I want you to stay here. Like, just heal, just hang out. And the cat was like, no, I need to be outside. And the cat was very, very ready to like, be like, okay, you helped me. I'm healed up. I'll go now. So I don't bother you anymore.
See ya.
So, no, I can stay.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mention of, was it Hitachi? Hitachi was the other cat. Am I saying his name right?
Hachi.
Hachi. Yes.
Yeah. So, did he have Hachi until Hachi passed away? Is that?
No.
What happened to Hachi?
Hachi stayed with the other kid, right?
Yeah, but the
No, I
father
thought that was
didn't want animals
yeah.
in
So
his
he
place.
couldn't keep
So
Hachi.
I think the ultimately happened to Hachi was he was went in. Yeah, was it Satoru's parents when they passed away? Hachi went to distant relatives, and that's why he had to get like these 2 trains to get out to the cemetery where
Right,
Hachi
right.
was
And
buried because he was all the way
he
out
kept
there.
trying to go visit,
Is
and
what
he
I recall.
didn't. And the cat passed away because it was hit by a car. Remember, because maybe he was in
Right,
class and he
right.
tried to talk. He tried to go visit, and then he didn't make it, and then he tried again like some other time. Yeah, that's sad.
Yes.
So I'm sure that had a lot to do with his attachment to Nana.
8 and 7, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Committing to be like a pet owner is just it's so hard, especially when you have multiple. I know at one point, like what do we have? We have 6 now. We have 6 animals.
Yeah, I think
And like, of
It's a lot.
course, yeah. And a lot of the time you get them in like this staggered fashion, like a couple years after the other. And then of course
Right.
that means they pass away in that same staggered fashion. So it seems like, there can be these
Right.
long periods of grief and loss from losing one pet after the other.
Well, to that end, one of my favorite parts of the book is when his aunt gets a new kitten. And when Nana meets, it's like, so you're the next cat, aren't you? I was like, wow, that was just such an amazing line. When it said that, it's like, wow, what kind of composer do you have to say something like that? It was really good. So.
But
yeah, I like the ending because he gave the impression that Nana is looking forward to being with Satoru in the land of dreams, wherever that is. Yeah, because that's where they see each other now. So I thought it was a great ending.
I thought that was cool too. I don't know. I feel like I relate to that. I feel like I relate to seeing deceased relatives and stuff in my dreams and get to hang out with them.
Yep.
But
right.
Would you read any more of the author's work?
Yeah, I would. I'm assuming it's not all cat related.
Right.
It's the only one I know of him. So.
I imagine though, like the different stories would be translated by different people. So I'm wondering how much that impacts the story, even though it's the same author.
Well, read Babel and find out. That's kind of what that's about. No, I'm serious. I'm close to halfway too, but that's another discussion. So.
Yeah, Babel's going to be an interesting one.
Yes. But if you like this story, I would suggest the house cat that I mentioned at the top of the show, because it's a traveling cat, but in a different sense, and that's all I'll say about it. So,
what's it called?
The guest cat. So,
and it's a book, or is it like a graphic novel?
Short-ish novel, like a novella, really. Let me see. It is. Let me bring it up here, so I can actually see the name of the author. Now, in all honesty, it's not rated nearly as high as the kind of guest cat chronicle or the Travelling Cat Chronicles, but I liked it. Once the Goodreads decides to work, it gave me, oh, this took too long. It's like, oh shit, yeah. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's by Takashi Hiraide, I guess. And it's how many pages here? It's like I think it's pretty short. I just don't remember how long it is.
Yeah, this was pretty short too. How long was this? This was like 270 pages.
Yeah, this is like 180 in the paperback version. So yeah, it's short.
The guest cat.
Yeah,
So-
the guest cat.
I mean, this says international bestseller. I don't know, because I actually won this on Goodreads, which is why I had it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would have seen it or picked it up otherwise.
I would not have seen it otherwise.
Same.
So I'm glad. I mean, like, I would have had to enter to win. so I must have been like, oh, the Traveling Cat Chronicles, that sounds cute. And then I entered.
Click.
But
Oh, I meant it.
but I'm glad I won and had an opportunity to finally read it, because I probably won it like years ago. When did this release? 10/23/18 was the on sale date.
And
So-
the other one
and I
which
got-
I mentioned, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and it was an advanced reader's copy, so I would have gotten it before that. But go ahead. What were you saying?
My internet's being naughty again. There is a manga. Let me find that now. A Man and His Cat, which really swings on the heartstrings, but I liked it. It's good, despite that, which says a lot. And that's a manga.
Who's that by?
I'm looking it up now. Umi Sakurai. And that is a manga, which is in several volumes now. I read the first one, and I liked it. So, but then there was the other one, Junji Ito. Yeah, the horror manga.
That one I read. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one was.
Yeah, and that was good too. Yeah, again, so that's what I said. There seems to be a particularly Japanese strain of this sort of novel that it's really good, because it's, like I said, it shows the way humans are, the way they react to animals, and I think it's pretty good. So.
Did you read that one?
I don't think so. I'm curious what the hell you guys talking about.
Okay, I think I know where it is, so I'll try to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, Junji Ito's Cat Diary
Mhm.
is what is the name of the book. Ewan.
Or you said it was
and,
hilarious?
Moo. No, it wasn't
Yeah,
hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious.
No, but in parts of it, yes. But it's the kind of thing you wouldn't expect to come out of a horror person. Well, let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, basically, the
some
cat
parts of
is
it
the
are
horror.
hilarious.
Okay.
I don't know. Was it his girlfriend that brought the cat
Yes.
home? Yes, his girlfriend brings the cat home,
Uh-huh.
and then the cat starts doing all this stuff, and he's
Okay,
like
all
trying
right.
to tell her what a terror the cat is, but
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like a dancing frog.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
yes, exactly. So,
So
but it was definitely very.
are we back to review time now, or is that?
Yes. You should. Yes. I have to use the restroom over here.
Okay, so do you want to do final thoughts, or did you have more to say?
Oh no, it
was a
you
pretty
should
short
read
book.
it.
Yeah. Yes, especially if you are a cat lover. It was sad, but it was touching, and it was cute seeing the perspective of the cat, and the way he sees humans and his interpretation of what humans do and feel and behave and eat and lots of things. It made me cry, so I think I'm going to give it a 5.
As a cat lover, I'm gonna give it a 5. Pet lover.
I'm trying to see what I rated it. Because this is the redesign page, so it may take a while for it to come up. Yeah, I can't. Oh, no, my review. No, I gave it 5. Couldn't remember if I gave it 4.5, rounded up to 5 or 5, but I gave it 5. So
So for the month of January, we are
Oh,
going to
it's
be
massive.
reading.
It
Oh,
is.
it's massive. Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is a Harper Voyager publishing. And if you aren't aware, HarperCollins, a lot of HarperCollins employees are on strike right now. And if you want to get more information about that and how you can help, visit. Actually, let me make sure I get that right. They have a Twitter account. They're also on Instagram. No, that's not it. Apologies, I should have remembered to pull this up. And if I cannot, oh, here we go. So on Twitter, you can follow the HarperCollins Union at HCP Union. And I believe their Instagram is likely the same, but they do have a link tree on their Twitter, so you can find out more information about the strike that has been going on for quite some time now. I think they're like 40 some odd days into the strike. So please definitely go check out their Twitter. And so we'll be discussing that towards the beginning of February. Tom, you have already started reading it, and you said you were like halfway through. You have like
I'm close. I'm close to halfway through. It's like it's on the. I think the audiobook is like 21 hours or something like that.
Yeah, John told me that, so I was like, you better hurry up.
45.
Yeah.
Are you able to briefly summarize it?
It takes place in, I believe, the 1830s in England, in a world where silver working has made changes which would otherwise be ascribed to the Industrial Revolution. In the sense that I don't know how much to say without giving too much away.
Right, yeah.
But translation is important in that I think the bars can be inscribed with words, and that provides the power that they generate. So, and that's why knowing languages is important.
Right.
So,
because you could say the wrong thing and
yes, or if you think the wrong thing, yes. So yeah, it's
That's
an interesting book, but I think it trades on, and at least just up until halfway through the book, the book takes place at Oxford, so it kind of trades on that English academia that everybody seems to love. Harry Potter took very good advantage of when with Hogwarts and such. But yeah, it's sort of that, and it takes a look at prejudices and biases, during the thing. That's why, for those of you who were in the Facebook group taking over India, it's like that just is so part of this book that it's like it just goes so well with it. So
interesting. All right, cool. Well, if you guys have made it this far,
yes.
Thank you for
I feel
joining us.
I should also mention,
Go ahead.
only because it's another.
You're breaking up pretty bad.
Cut it. I'm not getting. I don't even know if I'm on.
I heard that. That was the last thing we heard. You said I should also probably mention, and then everything in between that, and I don't know if I'm on, disappeared.
But I think we can hear you now.
No, he's still. It's still pretty bad. Hold on, I'm gonna type in. I don't know if you'll get that, but
So,
I
we're going to
said-
translate for Tom.
yeah, I said if you're able to type it in one of the chats, I can repeat what you were trying to say before we log off. Kind of lost him again. Okay. So we did also already pick our February title, which is going to be Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. He says it's the second book in the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb, and so that is what we're going to be reading in February, just in case you want to join us then. So yeah, I mentioned that Royal Assassin will be our February book.
Yeah, I caught the end of it.
All right, everyone. So thanks again for joining us. Hope to see you next month or, in February when we read Royal Assassins. And one more time, if you ever want to join us on screen and be part of the discussion, you can do that by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Libri Labra. So have a wonderful Sunday, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.